What's going on, everyone? So after the Lakers' tough loss in Game 2 of a game winner, it still stings. It still hurts. But look, I have faith that we'll bounce back. But after that game, Anthony Davis talked about how it appears that on both sides of the ball, we don't seem to know what to do at times. He didn't mention any names specifically. He didn't talk about the coaching staff or anything. He just called out the players and the team as a whole, in my opinion. Like, I didn't take that as like a direct shot at just solely Ham. Like, I do think that it was to some degree a shot at Darvin Ham, but I think it was a shot to the entire team, right? Like, dude, we're out here and there's these stretches now in 2 straight games where we can't get stops, we can't buy buckets, we can't do anything, right? It's like what's going on here, right? And once again, we let Denver go back and get back into the game, and we're not executing in a proper fashion, and there's no adjustments. There's nothing to be done, right? It's like, where does that fall on? It falls on the coaching staff to make the changes, make the adjustments, call the timeouts, game manage in a proper way. Darvin Ham has been atrocious this season in that. Atrocious with rotations, lineup structure, game management, timeout calling, everything you need to be a successful head coach, right? Great example, Jason Kidd in the previous Dallas Clipper game, right? You got a free throws towards the late in the game, and what happens? After the first free throw, Kyrie and Luka immediately get subbed out and sit at the end, get to sit down on the bench, right? Go through the process of shooting the free throw. Boom, they shoot the free throw. After he shoots the free throw, boom, immediate timeout, and you get your guys some extra rest, right? At the end of the game, you had an opportunity to challenge, and 2 things happen. Either A, you don't get the successful challenge, and all you did was just give your team an opportunity to get some rest, right? Because the way that these refs take 30 minutes to come to a conclusion, right? So worst case, you lose the timeout that you probably use anyway because you had 2 that you never even ended up using. So at least you would have had 1 left over, but you would have gotten guys an opportunity to actually recover for a moment, take a breath, take a breather. And what the other alternative is that you get the call overturned and now you win the game because now they don't tie you. You go down, you go get a bucket. It's a completely different ball game. You don't have a Jamal Murray situation where he has an opportunity to hit a shot and win the game. Right? It's the little things, especially in a series that is so marginal. Everything is so tight. And Darvin Ham just continues to be outcoached. The Lakers have been in tight games every opportunity for 10 straight games against this team. Right? At what point does that fall on the coach? Right? If these 2 teams are essentially deadlocked, right? At what point is it, okay, coaching's got to be the difference maker? Look, if you know me, if you're familiar with this channel, you've heard me on numerous occasions even defend Darvin Ham because I do believe a lot of it, a large majority really, fall on the players. Right? It's not Darvin Ham's fault that, we're turning the ball over, we're taking poor shots, and there's certain elements of the game that Darvin Ham just doesn't have control over, right? But there's those little things that matter. There's those little things that, if you do 1 or 2 things correct, right, you could win a game or 2, right? You see Mike Malone make the proper adjustments, make the proper timeouts, do little things that kind of give slight little edges to Denver. And those are the things that are the difference. And I don't think what Anthony Davis said was a pure frustration moment, right? Like, if they win, does he say anything? No. So is it part because he's upset and he's bothered? Of course. But he's not wrong. What he said isn't inaccurate. And so, of course, Darvin Ham, he has something to say, right? Darvin Ham, this guy, man, not only is he terrible as a coach, he's just bad. Look, I defended Darvin Ham countless times, early in the season, countless times. Because there was a lot of circumstances early on. But then he just kept doing the same thing, kept making the same mistakes. So at some point, it's just like, okay, he's not good, right? Like, yes, I understand that there were injuries for pretty much most of the season, but especially early on, guys constantly in and out of lineups, right? He's experimenting. He's trying different looks. He's trying different structures, right? Like, that's fine. I defended it at that time. No, we need to see, like, which lineups work well. You're missing key guys. Like, let him kind of try to figure it out. Well, then that time passed, and he was never able to figure it out. But this guy just says stuff. And I know sometimes the stuff he's just saying just to, like, be comedic in a sense, right? To kind of troll. Like, you see things like, everyone's going to overreact after one game. Okay, so what is everyone supposed to do after game 2? Again, I have said, I think that pendulum swing is ridiculous. And it bothers me sometimes too, where it's like, when we win, it's like, we're the best team in the league. We're the NBA champions, but nobody's going to beat us. And then, like, we're down 5 in the first quarter. It's like, we're the worst team in the league. We suck. Fire Ham. Trade everybody. It's like this swing. And I get it. But that's part of fandom, right? Like, as frustrating as it makes me, and as somebody that, tries to let cooler heads prevail, I get it, right? But it's like he just says things the way he coaches, right? I'm trying to say this in, like, a YouTube, family-friendly manner. The way I want to phrase it. I don't want to get flagged or anything by YouTube or get, like, 18 plus or anything. So bear with me. But it's just, and then you see things like where he's, like, talking about Jokic, and it's like, well, I don't know what I'm supposed to do. It's not the exact words he says. He used a naughty word. But, he says stuff like that. You're just like, dude, that's your job. That's literally your job, to figure it out, to game plan, to execute. Like, what are you, like, the things that you're supposed to do? He's like, well, I don't know. Like, and I know, again, part of it is probably a level of just troll. Part of it is, I think he really doesn't know, and he's trying to play. It's kind of like, when you ask somebody something, and it's kind of, you're like half kidding. Like, hey, man, you want to let me borrow $20 or something? And it's like, I'm just joking with you. I don't need the 20. And they're like, I can let you. Oh, okay, cool. Like, it's like, that's how I feel with Darvin Ham. But Darvin Ham responded to basically all the comments, right? And it's just so frustrating. But here, I'm going to read it to you. So Darvin Ham said, the film session was very revealing with which side of the ball we struggled at. Lakers coach Darvin Ham said, we were great defensively. I disagree. They got whatever they wanted. We had moments, we had stretches in the game where we were very good defensively, but we couldn't get stops when it mattered. So, but anyway, okay. Offensively, there was a lot of shots that we wish we could have had back. Okay, again, proper execution, proper delivery. Like, isn't that what Anthony Davis talked about? Right? Like, there's at times we don't know what to do. Like, we're stagnant. Things. Okay, I'll continue. Having said he likes using film sessions to grow as a team because it removes the post-game emotions that can skew the perception of what occurred. To that end, Ham was asked about Anthony Davis's comments on Monday that were perceived as an indictment of the coaching staff by some when the Lakers center said, we have stretches where we just don't know what we're doing on both ends of the floor. Again, he's not wrong. But here's what Darvin Ham's brilliant statement said. I mean, I just think sometimes when plays don't turn out the way that you think they should, then the frustration sets in a little bit. But I don't think it's from us not being organized. I think I have an incredibly talented coaches all along my staff. We pride ourselves, whether it's a practice, a shoot around, a film session, a game, or whatever. We pride ourselves on being highly efficient and organized. I just chalk it up to being frustrated. It's an emotional game, the way it ended and all of that. But I'll agree to disagree on that one. Okay, again, I'm going to try not to use the language that I want to use. So he talks about how, there's lack of execution on the offensive side, right? Coaching staff is prepared. Okay. Why are we 0-10 against Denver, for one? If the coaching staff is so prepared and they have all their ducks in a row and the execution's great and everything's great and you're doing all this stuff, why are we 0-10 against Denver? Like, again, even at Denver, if they're better than us, okay. But to be 0-10 You're not talking about like, man, we're like, 6-4 in our last 10 games. No, we have not beaten them in like a year, over a year at this point. Yet it's like, what are you talking about? And the lack of leadership. I can only talk for my perspective and from my point of view. I believe the proper answer to that is somewhere along the lines, again, this is just spitballing here, but something along the lines of like, I heard Anthony Davis's comments and I agree, right? Like, look, we need to be better. We need to do better. Us and the coaching staff need to make sure our game plans and our structures are more accurate. The players need to make sure that they're doing their job to execute and deliver. All of us need to be held accountable, and we need to do a better job of executing on both sides of the basketball. Take some responsibility. Large part of that is on me. Me and the coaching staff, we got to make sure that we're relaying what we need to relay properly. Us and the coaching staff need to make sure that our game plans are solid and we're properly executing, making the adjustments where need be. And the players need to make sure that they're doing their end on the basketball court to adjust. So I agree with Anthony Davis. That's what a leader does. That's what a leader does. He backs up his team. He takes responsibility. And again, you're 0-10. If he said that and the series was tied 1-1, and it's like, man, we should be up. I understand where Anthony Davis is coming from, but look, the series is tied. We should have been up 2-0, but it's one of those. If you want to agree to disagree, right? Obviously, our game plans have been working. It's just that one stretch that we need to correct. Okay, but you're 0-2 in this series, and you haven't proven that you can beat them. What is he talking about? It drives me crazy because you're terrible. Everybody in the world, people that aren't even basketball people, understand. It doesn't take somebody that researches and studies and is an analyst or any. It doesn't take it. The guy that's just sitting, walking by. You can't really sit and walk by, but you get my rant. Like the guy that's just walking by and glancing over the TV could be like, man, that guy sucks. Like, it's crazy to me. Take some accountability. You're the coach. Even if you disagree, take some accountability. Guys like Phil Jackson, right? Throw subtle jabs out in the media to motivate players and stuff like that. But even Pop, guys like that, you've seen it. But they've earned that. They've earned that ability. You've also seen them pick and choose times, and they have taken accountability, and they have said, I that's on me. I got to do a better job, right? It's just you're 0-2 in the series, and you've lost both games the exact same way. You were up 15 in game 1, up 20 in game 2, and lost both. At what point, if you want to say it's not all on the coach, like, hey, we all need to be better, I back you. If he would have gone up there today and he would have been like, hey, you know what? Like the thing that I said earlier, right? Hey, us as a coaching staff, we need to do a better job executing. Players, they need to make sure that they're properly, getting good looks, getting good stops. They need to make sure that they're executing the game plan. We need to make sure we're doing a better job of relaying the game plan and structuring said game plan. Cool, beautiful. Good job, Darvin. Took some accountability, right? You know that you and the team need to be better because, again, it's not all on the coach, right? Beautiful. I back your play. Let's go. Again, you give me reasons to defend you, I'll defend you. When you give me reasons to not and have to show and have to call you out, then I got to. This guy is just, it is so frustrating. The Lakers could come back. The Lakers could win the next 4 games against Denver. Go win this series, win the NBA championship, sweep the rest. The Lakers could not lose another game the rest of the playoffs and hoist the Larry O'Brien trophy. As soon as that is over, if I'm Jeannie, I'm going, or Rob, whoever has to make that decision, going up to him, hey, great job. Glad you got the championship. Enjoy the parade. Like, really enjoy the parade. Like, kind of like, hey, Enjoy it while you got it. And then as soon as everything's over, as soon as that honeymoon's done, hey, congrats on being a championship coach. I'm sure somebody will pick you up because you won a chip. We got to go a different direction. I don't care what happens this season. You got to get rid of this guy. He's awful. It really is. He's just bad. He's just a bad coach. He's a bad leader, which is that's what the big deal with him was, right? Last season, he was excellent in that. He was excellent in just taking accountability and, taking and deflecting off players. And that's what he was. That was his whole shtick, right? He's good at articulating and with the media and being a player coach and all that. And it's he can't even do that anymore. So it's you can't game manage. You can't properly execute. You can't get your players involved or to buy in. You can't even support your team. You can't even take accountability. It's just at what point do you just go, all right? It's wild. It's crazy to me. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion. Pass a question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? How do you feel? What are your thoughts on Darvin Ham? What are your thoughts on his comments? Again, however you feel, whatever your thoughts are. I'd love to hear it. Let me know down in the comments below. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot, so we enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.